Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot. Back with I don't even know if it's day 18 or day 19 of lockdown now. It's one of them. I've put 18 on the title, but I'm not sure if it's 18 or 19. So I'm just going to wait for some people to come on, and then we can start today's. Yeah, people coming on there. See how everybody is. I know a lot of people have been saying they haven't been getting notifications, so please make sure that the little bell on the subscribe is there. Hi, Magically, you're looking better. Yeah, I'm feeling better today. I'm feeling a lot better today than I was. Apologies for yesterday, because yesterday I was whacked when I finished the reading. Yeah, I totally was. So right, there's people starting to come in. How is everybody feeling at the moment? Like I say, I only know personally, how I'm feeling with things. But hi, Robin. Hi. Today started with tears. I was crying before I even got out of bed. So it was a very weepy day today. Already it's only 2 o'clock, 20 past 2. And there's been quite a few tears, but more like a release rather than like a proper sadness, tears for nice things, tears for, I don't know, tears for myself, tears for the collective, tears for a lot. But, it's natural. It's allow that to happen, Last night was the first time I really just said to Spirit, right, okay, what is going on here? What do you need me to do? So I took some time for that last night before I went to sleep. I also had a few crystals on my chest and just said, please, I cannot be ill. I cannot be ill, at this moment in time. I've got too much to do, and I cannot help serve if I'm ill. And then I woke up this morning and I'm pain-free. So maybe it was a coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences. Hi, Terry. You still no notifications. Is the bell clicked? Is it maybe unsubscribe and then subscribe again? It might work. So, yeah, so we're getting quite mixed days at this moment. And, it is. Things felt heavier this morning than what they've been. But this is totally natural. As I said, I think we're starting to realize, whoa, hold on, this isn't going to be over by next week kind of thing. Yeah, it's like I say, there's it's just, we've just got to ride the wave. Totally ride the wave. Oh, there's a snake right behind you. No, there's not. I know snakes when I see one. We do get snakes here sometimes. They're not native of Ibiza. Because one of the beautiful things of Ibiza is it doesn't have an animal or a plant that can actually kill you. Obviously dogs and stuff like that can if they're rabid, but, there's no natural like venomous plant or animal here. And the snakes that come in, they come in on ships from Morocco. So yeah, when we find them, we've got to call the snake man. And it's quite scary when you see them. I'm not really scared of snakes or spiders or anything like that, but rats is my thing. I don't like them. That's my that's my I hate it. April Fools, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't fooled. I can see myself here as well. So, right. So today, does anybody have any questions? Is there anything that anybody wants me to answer before I go into what I feel is important to talk about today? Anybody? I can hear the reggae. My housemates playing reggae there just outside. Hi, Mandy. Yeah, nobody's got anything? No? Okay, I'll just get on then with what I was wanting to say. So, yeah, when I was sitting thinking about it last night and taking the time to actually write, okay, what's going on? I feel that we are all in a stage of grief in some way. I remember the first day this started, I wrote and I said, this is like the feeling that you get when somebody dies. And, obviously people have died with this, but most of us aren't personally affected with that. But I do still feel that we are all in a state of grief. And, we're all feeling very like lost at sea. It's, which way do we go? Our compass isn't spinning in the way that it should. And, there's this uncertainty, this which way do we go? Like kind of, yeah, this lost feeling. And I feel this is what comes when we experience grief. I mean, anybody, who has lost a loved one, which, is 99.99% of the population. If you haven't, then, you will, without a doubt, because it's something that comes to us all. But, yeah, so when we get into grief, our first stage of grief is denial. We kind of block it out, and we don't want to accept it. We don't want to even think about it, and we try and carry on regardless. And I think there's a lot of people have actually done this. At first it was like, yeah, well, it's not going to affect me. It's okay. It's going to be over in a couple of days, whatever. And it's not. It's there. It's real. And as much as we try and carry on as if nothing is happening, we can't do that. It's a distraction, but it is a classic trauma response of grief. It's the first response that we have with that. So where we've got this denial where we're like, yeah, blinkers on and everything's fine. This is why sometimes a lot within the spiritual community, I don't agree with the spiritual bypassing that goes on as well. It's, oh yeah, it's all just love and light and everything's going to be okay. And yes, there is love and light, but, there is also dark and shit as well, and we've got to sit in the middle of these, we've got to kind of see that all of them exist, and this is yesterday. I spoke about opening our eyes, and waking and seeing, that there is a loss involved with this. We are grieving the way things used to be, the things that we took for granted. I mean, how many times does this happen when you lose a loved one? It's like, oh God, I should have done this with them, and I wished I'd give them more time, and I wished I'd done that. And I know with my mom, it's like, I wished I'd took at the garden centre more, and things like that. You start to think, oh wow, you think back that things weren't as bad then. So we need to realize that things have changed. So we're grieving this loss, okay? This loss of how our lives used to be. This loss of freedom as well, of being able to do what we want has been taken away as well. So that again is a loss. There are loss of lives on a collective measure, and we will all be feeling that as well. So this loss is real. Something has gone that used to be there. So then the second stage of grief is anger. And this is, where we get angry at the world. It's like, where's the God in this? How can I think positive when this bad thing is happening? And we get ourselves chewed up with it, and we start thinking about what could have been. We start looking to blame people. When we're angry, we want to direct blame to somebody else, rather than say that this is real. So we could be blaming politicians. We could be blaming different countries. I've heard people saying it's the Russians, it's the Chinese, it's the this, it's the that, it's this should have been done sooner. This should have been. So people want that outlet to be able to blame and kind of have a cause for this. Okay. So this is the anger, and anger is a natural response. And I feel there's so many of us, myself included, which we see anger as a bad thing. We're taught when we're very young, don't show anger, don't say that if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, don't lose your temper and things like that. So anger is a response that is natural, yet none of us, or a majority of us, don't know how to handle it properly. We kind of freak out, or we feel uncomfortable if we're feeling anger. but it's, you know, it's a place to let it out, but let it out in a controlled manner. So, you know, we don't want to go around hitting the first person that speaks to us, because that is not controlled. However, we can sit, we can talk about it, we can go, we can punch a pillow, we can punch a punch bag, we can go and smash something or whatever, because this is a feeling that we need to get out. The third phase of you getting angry like Chris, yeah. Yeah, one of my other friends, my housemate, who's called Chris actually as well. Yeah, he's getting a bit of anger with this as well, and you know, you can see he's trying to get it, but it's there. You know, it's like, go and smash something. So yeah, it's little things start to irritate us that normally wouldn't, and this is because, you know, it's like it's almost like, how can you carry on as normal when this is happening? You know, so there's so much stuff going on in our brain with this. The third stage of grief is bargaining. You know, where we start to pray or whatever, and we say, you know what, if only life could go back to normal, I will be the best person I can for the rest of my life. If you give me this back, I promise you that I'll, you know, cherish it and appreciate it, you know. And this is what a lot of us are feeling, you know. At the moment, everybody's on this, God, you know, just being able to go outside. Oh, you know, I'm thinking, oh God, yeah, the beach, you know, I didn't realize how much I appreciate the beach and how much I feel good there. And next time I go to the beach, I'm really, really going to take it in. And we will for a while, but then that stops again, you know. So then we have the bargaining phase, you know, and there's all this, like, you know, when I had, you know, we start to actually look at the past with nostalgia, you know. So maybe 6 weeks ago, we were sitting thinking, oh God, my life's shit. I hate my job. I blah, blah, blah. And now we're looking at it and going, oh, you know, I used to love going into work, and, you know, wasn't my life so good then? So you can see how we start to look at the past and dress it up as well. You know, we all had problems in the past. We all did. You know, there was things that got on our nerves. Now they don't seem relevant, but we look back to the when I hads. Now, I often talk about the when I haves. So it's a lot of times people will go, when I have that better job, when I have that bigger house, I'll be happy. When I have that car, when I have that relationship, I'll be happy, you know. So it's always something that's going to come rather than being happy now. What we've got now with this collective grief is the when I hads. You know, I was so happy when I could just go out to the shops. I was so happy when I could go to my local pub. I was so, but were you? Or, you know, were you really? Or is that just, you know, rather than projecting, you're actually kind of, you know, buttering up the past in a way as well. So, you know, we want things to go back to normal. And the things is, they will never be normal, no matter how much we pray, no matter how much we try and bargain or anything, you know. So yes, so we're bargaining, you know, it doesn't work, but it is a natural process of this. Then what comes next is depression. Okay, so this is when it really hits, and this is when we get that heavy cloud, and this is when we realize that yes, there has been a loss here. This is when we feel sadness for that loss. This is when we kind of feel alone, you know. And especially at this moment in time, most people, when we're grieving, we have people around us, you know. And I often say, when somebody does die, the time from them dying to getting buried is probably the most social you're going to get. It keeps you busy, you know. People are on the phone, people are coming around, people are sending flowers, you're planning the funeral, you've got all of this stuff to keep you busy. And then after the funeral, it's almost everybody else's life goes back to normal. And this is when you sit in the house by yourself and you go, shit, you know, I've got nothing to distract me. And this is what I was talking about yesterday. A lot of people are throwing themselves into work. Yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. They're going to get hit with this, you know, they're all going to get hit with this, because it's a natural process for what we're going through. So when we have this aloneness, you know, which is made worse because of this isolation, you know, we can look at life and we can go, you know, like, oh, what's the point of all this? You know, we go in classic depression, we withdraw, we go inward, okay? But this is when we go into our own darkness. And this is when we, you know, we know that this is when we find our own inner light, so we've got to go through the process of depression. And if we look at the word depression, it says deep rest. Okay, so this is it. We've had a traumatic experience. Everybody has, and whether they're taking it well or not, it's still trauma. It's still something that we don't know, and that we have still lost something. So this is when we need to just rest. Okay, we can also look at times or places or situations that actually where we felt repressed as well, because I think this is coming up a lot. Although we have this collective depression, a lot of people are realizing, whoa, I was stuck in an office block, I was doing all of this and I was repressed. I wasn't able to breathe, so people are now taking this time to rest, even if they're going dark. That is normal. That is absolutely normal. So don't beat yourself up about it. As I said yesterday, that this is about stop, look, and listen. Observe what is going on, okay? But know that these are normal stages in the grief process. The fifth and final stage is acceptance, okay? And this is when we get to the point where we go, yeah, life has changed and it's not going to go back to the way it was. Hendrik's just been let in. He must have been working himself. It's not going to go back to the way it was. Life will not be the same, but we can't replace what was. Okay, we can't, that's not going to be an option, but we can start to rebuild what will be. And Tony Robbins, I'm doing some work in a group with Tony Robbins and stuff, and he put out a great post the other day where he talks about the human race being very resilient. We always bounce back. We always find a way because it's inbuilt in us. This survival mode is inbuilt in us. So we're always going to find a way to rebuild, to regenerate, and to rejoice again. We will. And this is when, with the acceptance, what we do is we don't dive into our feelings. We don't let them lead us. We just witness them. We allow them, we listen to them, and we feel them. This is a time when we have the acceptance, which some might have it now, some might, these stages can go, we flitter in and out of all of them, so like I say, don't beat yourself up. This is totally natural responses. And this is when we start to invest in our friendships, invest in the places that we really have decided we want to be, invest into what actually matters to us as well, so this is where we start to rebuild, because we put time into them. We have appreciation of them that we didn't have before. They are now more valuable than what they were before. The same as our time will be more valuable, our freedom will be more valuable. And then when we get to the acceptance, this is when we start to live again, and we live differently, because we've learned, we've evolved, we've gone through a big shitstorm that is actually, we've come out the other side and we're different, but that's what the storm is all about. So today I feel that was important to talk about the 5 stages of grief and realize that we can all relate to that, or we all will relate during this process to that which is happening, and to allow it. That is the only thing, people say that grief takes time, you never forget what was, never ever, we can grieve people that have passed over, we can grieve relationships that didn't work how we wanted, we can grieve friendships, we can grieve parts of our life, but that's it, because when they've changed and we move on, change is the only thing that is constant. But we've got to actually honor it, and we've got to, allow ourselves to go through the process of it, because when we process it, that is when we're allowing it to move through us. And that is when we will actually be able to move on as well, so so I feel we're all in grief in a way, I know for definite I am in numerous ways, but it's quite the roller coaster. It is, Brie, but what do we do on a roller coaster? It's like, it's scream if you want to go faster, and we just hold on tight and we try and enjoy the ride. As Bill Hicks says, it's just a ride, and this is it. It is part of life. Life is not linear. It has ups and downs and roundabouts and all of that, and sometimes you feel sick with it and sometimes you feel ecstatic and giddy with it, but that is life. And know that it's like the Wheel of Fortune in tarot, know that if something's really, really good, it's going to change, but if something's really really bad, it's going to change as well, nothing is permanent like this. So so I hope that gives a little bit of insight or a little bit of understanding into what we are currently experiencing, so the 5 stages of grief. So does anybody have any questions about that at all? I'm mellow today, very melancholy. And you know what, I love words. And melancholy, I always feel that it's such a beautiful word, but I don't feel it relates to the feeling that it brings, like melancholy. I imagine kind of running through a field filled with sunflowers and, just being free. That to me is melancholy. But melancholy is, it's when that strange place, but that's a beautiful place to be as well. It really is. So enjoy the melancholy. Yeah. On a roller coaster, sometimes hands up, sometimes a holy crap, a white knuckle death grip. Exactly, exactly. And this is what we're going through. Interesting. Grief is related to the heart chakra and lungs. Yeah, definitely. And I know I've been having problems with my lungs the last couple of days, but I've also been having a lot of pain in my heart. But there is pain in my heart, there's a lot of love in my heart, but there's also pain at the moment as well, so and it's just going through it. I was told this journey that I speak about, I really need to document this or put this out there, because there was so much information. And I was told that when our heart breaks, it's not to cause us pain, it's actually to open up, to allow more love into it. And I just loved that process of it, I just really loved that process. So and that explanation of it. So so it's interesting. It's connected to the heart chakra and to the lungs. And you know what the thing is, when we have grief, grief always comes because we've had so much love, and the more pain we feel is because, the amount of love that we felt. So it's actually quite a beautiful thing. So so that's, I don't know, I'm going to pull some cards, I think. Does anybody have any questions on that? Yes, melancholy is a great name for a greengrocer says. One of the best I seen once was a garage, and it was called Tired and Exhausted, and I really thought that was funny. So right, so you're proper chewing the paper off the walls, Chris. Yeah, it's mad. Grief is because we cared. Yeah, grief is because we loved, Grief is because we loved, and we can still, I mean, when we have this acceptance, like I talked about, if we think of a loved one, we can, once we've got over their passing or whatever, we can look back at them in love. And again, within this journey, I was told that if we go into sadness because of loss, what we're actually doing is moving further away from that person that we've lost. So we need to actually, when we are still in love with them or in love for them, that still keeps us close, even if they're not there, kind of thing. It's strange. I need to write it all. There's just gallons and gallons of information there. So yeah, so it's when we go into sadness, or something like that because of a loss, we're actually stepping further away from that energy as well. So yeah. Right, okay, that's me today. Tired. I've tried hard to keep spirits up. Gonna have a quiet day. Yeah, I feel it's a quiet day today, Monique. This is why I'm doing this early, because I really feel just the time to just be today. I really do. I'm happy for this earth, our home. Humans have been withdrawn, and she has had a chance to heal some of her horrific wounds we have inflicted on her. Yeah, completely. There's a lot of good in this. And I think it's today, is it, that Italy has had more people recover and than there is dying, with it. And, this is it. Death is a part of life. It's a cold, hard shock when it comes to us, but we need to know. When I lost my mother, it was, like I say, it was very sudden. It was in an accident, and I went off to Thailand, and I was traveling. I was trying to understand it, and I spoke to a lot of monks and things. And one of them said to me that he said, "You Westerners try and sort of omit death from life. You try and ignore it and pretend it's not going to happen. Yet we know from the minute somebody is born, they are dying." So we know that time is precious. We know that we need to honor and appreciate that time. We realize the value of it, and then they said when somebody dies that they get all excited and they push the coffin because they know they're going to the next life. So yeah, it was very, very eye-opening for me. I have a very different view on death now. Yes, we do have a personal loss, but this is not the end. This is not the end. I feel we've been grieving collectively before 2020, but now the distractions have been taken away and we're being forced to sit with it and process it and transmute it. Boom. Absolutely spot on. We've just been trying, we've been in this denial stage, I feel. I think we've been in this denial stage for a long time. And with this age of Aquarius stuff, some say 2012, I believe 2008 it really started. But yeah, 2012 was a really, really big shift for us. And it's leading up to this, it was all leading up to this. And this is how a lot of people, we've awakened, we've gone through challenges, we're being pushed to see or to be, more conscious souls, more awake, more in love, more in kind of acceptance, less in control and stuff like that, So, yeah, so we have been grieving. It's just now, maybe we're in the anger stage, on a bigger level. It is quiet today. Yeah, I feel it's quiet today. It's a quiet day, isn't it? The energy, very quiet. Yeah. Great song of the day to listen to on YouTube. Leslie Duncan, love song, beautiful message. Something good will come. In spite of all this suffering, it will, and this is it. We've got to look at the duality of life. There's always two sides of it, always two sides of it. Even the ozone is repairing itself. Yeah. Yes, the beginning is the end and the end is the beginning. Exactly. I've just actually said the same words, Brandy, to someone I was on the phone to today. Do you think the year 2020 is like Vision 2020? We see things for what they are. Exactly, Danny. If you watch my videos from last year and the year before, I've just been bleating on and drumming into people. Come on, you've got to do the work. You've got to. It wasn't just for them personally. It's because if you don't do the work, it's going to make it harder for you. If you're not in your heart, it's going to be hard. As I said, people are going to struggle with this if they still cling on to the control. They're going to struggle and they're going to suffer. So yeah, this is what I've been saying all the time in my videos. 2020 clear vision. This is it. Seeing things properly. Our eyes are opening. my child cried last night because she realised she weren't going back to school and misses her friends, and I realised how it's not affecting me so much, but how it's affecting her not seeing her friends. Yeah, it is. And the young ones don't really understand. But the beautiful thing with the young ones is they still have that joy of spirit. If we look at children, you can give them a cardboard box and suddenly it's a boat or something like that. Children, they express their emotions. I mean, if you look at a child when they're angry, they know it, but you know about it. They'll kick, they'll scream, they'll stamp their foot, they'll throw things or whatever. We usually tell them to stop it, but an adult doesn't do that. Very rarely. We hide it, we keep it in. We can learn a lot from kids. We can learn a hell of a lot from them because they actually, they process their emotions very simply. They don't analyze them like we do. They don't have this inbuilt or like this conditioned mentality, not when they're very young, of how they're supposed to be, but it is us as people who then raise them to know you don't say that, no, you don't cry, big boys don't cry, no, you've just got to put up and shut up kind of thing. And this isn't right. This isn't healthy to raise our kids in that way as well. So yeah, children are resilient. They'll get through this. And the ones that are being born at the moment, the ones that are there now, they're much more evolved than what we were, much more evolved. And it's so beautiful to see that. And this is carrying on as well. It's carrying on. They're having a lot more, the ones that are being born. We have the millennials, which are very, very creative thinkers. Then we have, the ones who are now in the teens and, like early teens and stuff like that. They're very awake, and then, like I say, it's just going to carry on and carry on. And, they're very strong. The children that are coming are very, very strong. But this is why we've been doing the work to pave that for them, for the future generations and for the past, because, this is also healing our lineage. I mean, this Piscean age was for 2,000 years, And I was talking to a friend today, and it was funny. I've been having quite a lot of dreams, and the dreams haven't been that nice. I've been having quite a lot of nightmares, and in it, there's all this that it's like I'm trying to be shut up. I mean, the other night I had a dream where they were trying to snap my vocal cords. Man, it was really, really bad. It was very disturbing dream, and it was like, we need to shut her up. We need to shut her up, which was bizarre. And I was talking to a friend about it just today, and she said, but yeah, Tanya, look at throughout your lineage, throughout your past lives, how many times you will have been like, shut up, I mean, it's everybody calls me a witch. I don't profess to be one, but am I? Yeah, a witch is a healer that was aligned with the cycles of the earth and stuff like that. I don't practice the Wiccan religion, but I know I have abilities that, and I know in past lives when I've had regressions or something, it's always come down to that. So there will be a time when I've spoke like this, spoke to spirit, where I was put on a bloody ducking stool, or I was burnt at the stake or something like that. So, there's this collective as well, this old ancestral stuff, these old ancestral wounds that are getting healed when we're finding our voice and standing up to, or standing for the truth now in this life. It's healing a lot in the past as well as healing in the forward as well. So I think I was a witch in a past life. Yeah. My daughter, I keep laughing at her because she's like, you bloody coven, because she's really opening at this moment, like psychically, and she's just like, oh man, I didn't want to do this, but it's there. We cannot stop it. So right, I'm going to pull some cards. I don't even know what I'm asking. Does anybody need anything for me to ask? Or should I just see what collectively the energy is? Because they've been strange, the cards, the last couple of days. I actually wasn't gonna pull any. So did that grief thing help? Did it make you understand? Yeah, I feel very mellow today. Like mellow, yeah, it's, I don't know, strange feeling today. Right. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, for the first time in years, I'm sleeping through the night. Shot. No, why? I can sleep all of a sudden. That's interesting. But also again, sleep is a form of a thing of grief as well. We sleep because we want to pass the time quicker, and that's where we find our solace, but again, it's given us rest that we need as well. So just go with it. So so what this is saying in these cards, which is quite interesting, is it's saying now the barriers that we had up, these cards are all quite a few of them upside down. The barriers that we had up, our current challenge is now taking them down. We put barriers up because we were feeling challenged, but now it's about taking them barriers down, realizing that these barriers that are put in place or that we put in place are actually segregating us rather than protecting us. So look at how people are wanting to come together. Look at how people are wanting to connect now. People are now like smiling at strangers while dodging and walking on the other side of the road for them. But there is this like kind of collective where people are wanting to connect here. And what we've got here as well is, I feel we've got the Ten of Swords put upside down. But this to me is, that our personal pain that we were feeling now has turned into a collective pain. Okay, so it's not personal to us. And it's almost like when we feel this is when we're developing empathy for other people. The Yogi Bhajan had said, when you're feeling helpless, help someone, and this is it. It's usually the people who are the helpers, the people with the deepest empathy, or the people who have experienced pain. Because unless we experience pain, we don't know how another person feels. So, this is actually bringing us more into kind of, rather than having this pity party for ourselves, having, pity or concern or showing sympathy and empathy for the collective. So I really like this. And what is happening here as well, the Seven of Swords upside down, so this is really interesting. This is saying that our mistrust of people, our mistrust of society, our mistrust of spirit, our mistrust of the world, always feeling like somebody is wanting to take something from us, always being suspicious and watching over our shoulder, that is also kind of dying away, because more people are coming into their faith, and I don't mean faith as in a religion or going to church or whatever, but I know by the messages I've been getting of people that people are now like, Tanya, what do I do with this? How do you meditate? How do you, how can I stay calm with this? I'm going to buy some tarot cards and see what they say, so people are now, they're wanting that faith. As I've said, people are now ready to listen. People are now wanting to help their neighbor, rather than feel their neighbor's going to take off them. Everybody is losing something. So now everybody is kind of relating to each other as well. So there's a trust building, and trust is one of the keys to love. It's got, if if trust isn't there can it be full love? There can't be. So trust is so important, and trust and truth come hand in hand as well. So people are showing their true colors now. and this is what is beautiful. We want to live in a colorful world, and we're seeing these people start to sprout, because they're taking the barriers down. They're not focusing fully on their own internal personal pain, and they're not seeing other people now as a threat. These other people are a lifeline now, and we're realizing the importance of connection. And what they're saying here is, this is what we've got to learn. Okay, this is it, Page of Pentacles. This is our lesson. This is what this is teaching us, so that when we go into our long-term future, we have an idea. We're secure within ourselves. We're secure within the world that we're in, and we know that with perseverance, and groundedness, we can have this safety and security and structure again. It's beautiful. The King of Pentacles there, this is always saying that this is, he's a provider. He's a provider. He has a safe space, and stuff like that. So this is it. But green is always connected to our heart as well. So this is it. This is showing us, because our heart, we couldn't get into our heart because we had barriers, and nobody else could neither. Our heart, we were allowing the pain that was in our heart to actually to stop anything else from getting in, and we were not trusting anybody to actually inhabit that space. But now this heart is open, it's strong, it still keeps on beating. This is it. Every single day our heart is beating, every single one of us. It doesn't matter sometimes if it's beating faster or what, it is still beating. And then the star, hope, healing, regeneration. It's that star in the storm. It's like, follow that star. As I said when I first started this, it's like we're lost at sea. And what did sailors do when they were lost at sea? They focused on that star to guide them to safety. It was that star, that brightest star, that was what actually guided them to safety. And this is what is happening with us. This is about, whatever we take from now on, with the star, we give back as well. Within the star, she's got 2 jugs of water. She's given one to the sea. She's given one to the land. So when the fool asks her, she said, so that other people can eat the fruit from the trees. And this is it. It's about this sharing and this healing of the planet, but not just healing of the planet. It's a healing of humanity. And this is what we have all been wishing and hoping for, but to get to the star, we need to experience the tower first. That's what we need to do, experience the tower. So the tower is what we're currently going through. So I love them cards. I really, really like that reading there. Trust that man, 2 meters apart. Should we put Christmas lights in front of our house to let people know we're awakening? You can, yeah, that would be amazing. I haven't got any. I never have Christmas lights because I always have fairy lights anyway, whether it's Christmas or not. And there's nobody passes, not even the pigs. The pigs haven't been coming lately, which I'm gutted about. So I like that message, what it's saying. Again, very simple one, but the amount of healing that is in this is absolutely beautiful. It really, really is. And it's hope and renewal and regeneration, and as I said, that the human race is resilient. We will always find a way. And you look at these, we can concrete over, and them little shoots still come through it, don't they? Nature always finds a way, and humans will always find a way as well. So I love that. So I'm going to pull one of these universal love cards, and then I'm going to go. And I'm going to go. I really need just time for me and time to just be today. I think I'm going to read. I haven't read, or I think I'm going to write. I don't know. Come on, Spirit. What's the collective message for today? Is it only Wednesday? It feels so much like a Friday. Oh, there you go. That's the one. We've had this one before. So I am going to pull another one. I will read this, but we've had this one last week, I think. So, you're saying peace, joy in this house. I don't know if you can see it. It's not going to bend up enough. No, it's not. I've got a big thing above, like a mirror, and it says, "Bless this house with love and laughter." Right, there you go. There's the two that we're having. So the first one I will read. Like I say, this one was read last week, but I cannot. I don't control how they come out. Right. So this one is celebration, and look, can you see it? It's beautiful. It's like a dove. Yeah. The art of war. Yeah, it's do not engage, isn't it? So celebration, something precious bursts to life and a dream comes true. That which you have wanted for so long now becomes reality. This is a time for celebration, a time to contemplate the very nature of life and your purpose on this earth. Give thanks to Mother Earth and the universe for their help and blessings. There is no greater show of gratitude than a life lived in joyous surrender and celebration of the marvel of existence we are all part of. We are all invited into life. There is no other sign to wait for. You are accepted and as welcome as each breath you take. So embrace your summons to live and to rejoice. Take up hands, heart, and mind, and let your celebration be a reminder of the generous opportunity we have all been graced with at this moment, life. This is it. People are realizing how much life is important now, and how much living is important. So, wow, it's still, I know we had it last week, but still so powerful. And then funny, this other one has a bird in as well, and birds to me are always freedom. They always indicate freedom to me. So this says, a spark of creativity, an inspired idea, a seed strikes fertile soil and something beautiful is born. This card represents the start of something new. This may be a relationship, a job, a project, or a completely new way of looking at life. It also marks the beginning of a creative phase where previously hidden talents emerge. Allow your intuition and inner guidance to direct your energy and efforts to generate an abundance on all levels. One idea leads to another. Energy well spent graces you with more energy in return. Harness that spark and be invigorated by its passion for life and its need for realization. When the seed of possibility comes to you, do not tuck it away in the dark. Give it the freedom, the love, the joy of the light. Let it grow. Each seed can birth a new day, a new way, a new hope, and a new you. This is exactly what is happening. Look at how creative everybody is being. This is it. We were born to create. We were born to co-create with the universe as well. And that's beautiful, because I spoke to a dear friend of mine today who's a musician. And he said, right, I'm going to do a project. We were talking about it. And he said, I'm going to do a project. And can I send you the videos and will you edit them? And I was like, yes, amazing. Like all of my friends together doing some sort of collective project. So even though we're not together, we still can be, So yeah, this is it. I think this is beautiful. Thank you. You love the accent. No, it's not the Irish. It's Geordie from Newcastle. I am. But I live in Ibiza now, and I've really had to tone it down a little bit because, it's very hard to speak to people that are, even people that are English don't understand the Geordie accent. So, does anybody have any questions or anything before I go? Like I say, I'm sorry it's not a big one today, but I feel it's been gentle and I feel there was a lot of stuff that was needed within that. Anybody? Anything to say? Everybody's quiet today. Really quiet. Come on, there's 34 people and 11 likes. Get that like button clicked, please. You look like a ray of sunshine. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought yellow today I've been sick of sitting around in sweatpants and jammies because I haven't been ill. So yeah, today I just thought, right, I'm going to have a bit of sunshine, and it's a lovely day today as well. The sun is shining, so thanks for all you do, Dinada. It's what I'm here for, isn't it? This is it. This is my purpose, and it's my life is of service, or it's that's what I've been told it is. So I cannot do anything else. So thank you all for being here too, as well. I walk, and I'd just been out for a walk before I came in there and taken some photos of the flowers today. The flowers were really beautiful today for some reason, where they always are. Trying to, yeah, I loved. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the colour of them ones? Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, and there was a lot of bees today. I was watching the bees when I was out. Yeah, the bees were. Yeah, look, little flower there. But yeah, it's we kind of go back to normal because normal wasn't working. Normal wasn't working for us. So this is why there is the change. And yeah, this is it. This is all for us, and I hope them cards give some guidance and solace. You were feeling the energy, yeah. Today I think I have. I've been out in nature today, and I really feel it. Yeah, nature's the best medicine. I do believe that, and I believe Mother Nature has a medicine for every cure as well. This is why so many people are turning to plant medicines now. Why there's a big surge in psychedelics, and psilocybin and mescaline and stuff like that, because they're natural, but they're opening up the core, and it's not just relieving the symptoms. The symptoms are there's a core, and then we have the symptoms, and then we get medicines that actually just stop the symptoms, but they don't actually go to the root. So them symptoms will return, whereas when you look at plant medicine, it goes straight there, It does. Last night I was watching yesterday's video, and I told Michael, you were like my new video bestie. I love your energy and your guidance. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Brandy. And Brandy, if you've been watching these before, I don't know if you have, I'm usually a bit more upbeat, and my readings are, but with these, my readings are usually more on point. But with these, when this first started, I said I need to be there. So I have no set plan with these. It's just being there. It's showing up. It's giving the people a place to be, and offering any insights that come in for that day. But when I get back to normal, there will be I will be doing a full moon reading as well soon. I don't know when that is. But I will be doing that, So yeah, this is just basically like a hangout, just to say I'm here, it's being the lighthouse, so to speak. But thank you for that. Yeah, so right, I think that's it then. If nobody else has anything to add or nothing to ask me, then I think it is time for me to go. Appreciate you for doing that even more. Thank you. It's like I say, this is what I'm there for. There's people doing a hell of a lot more than me, and like I say, just always take a moment to look at these, not just the like people working in hospitals and the medical staff, I've just seen today that I think is beautiful. There's a lot of the design companies, design houses are actually now turning their places to make gowns and stuff like that for for the hospital staff, these people that are working in supermarkets and that, that every day they're still putting themselves there on the front line. And it's beautiful to see how these people were classed as, almost like not skilled, yet these people are being shown to be the most valuable, at this moment in time. So yeah, it's really changing our perspective on a lot of things. But I said when I first started, it was very Hanged Man in tarot, and this is what he does. He changes his perspective. He sees what is really of value, what is really important, and he just takes this time to pause before he goes on to his new life, which is away from the material and into the spiritual. I just want to go and hug people. Yeah, it's God. I just, yeah, so many hugs. I have two friends, a guy called Mark, Mark was actually my first boyfriend when I was like 11, and he's still one of my dearest friends, and I love him. And he's about 6'5", and he's huge, and he looks like what was the guy on Popeye, the opposite guy to Popeye, Bluto. He's like that, and I just love Mark so much. And he called me last night on FaceTime, and I just see his face, and it was like, I want a Mark hug, because when I get a hug off him, he's like a bear, and I'm an absolute bear, and I said, you better save me one of those. And then another one of my friends, John, he's the same, very, very similar character. He was talking to us today, and and talking about saying that, he thinks I should go back to Newcastle to live, but he says, we're all here for you, this is where you're all at. So yeah, it's nice. But I just said to them, please save these hugs up, because I am gonna milk them for everything I can. They say that we need, what is it? It's something like 5 hugs a day to survive, 10 to thrive, and I don't know, but we need them, and this is where a lot of people are actually missing it. Poor Hendrix, he's never been hugged as much. He's just getting, everybody keeps pinching him to have a little squeeze of him. Yeah, I will tell you a funny story. In my country, if you get caught outside without a good reason, you have to sew masks for the people. What country is that, Danny? You are a gift to everyone. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. You always bring quality. Oh, thank you, Marianne. Thank you so much. Joy Philly, you. Hi, Annie Joy. Enjoy there. That's my auntie. I'm going to give you a ring. I'll give you a ring when I come off this. Did you see what my dad had wrote to you? I thought that was really nice. Now we all have to use our mental energy to connect. What the hell? Why are you putting hell noise? Oh, you're in Serbia, Danny. Sorry, my Auntie Joy just makes me laugh. Auntie Joy, I'm just finishing. I'm going to give you a ring now and see how you are. Okay, so expect a call in 5 minutes. So right, everybody, I hope that helped. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Be safe, okay? Be well, and be love as well. This is what we need to be, okay? So I'm sending lots of love to you. Sat down.